Hello, Shalom Ola, and welcome to the Spiritual Life. I'm Mystic Travis Tidwell, and I'm a psychic medium clairvoyant for a living, aka ceremonial magician, aka master healer. And I'm here today to follow up on my last episode with the Reiki 1 and 2 healings that were attunements that we did, And I want to, as we start this podcast, I want to just thank my executive producer here with me, my daughter Athena, who's also one of my priestess and sacred dragon. As we're also going to thank Yahweh this day for this podcast, and everything here is being powered by Sacred Dragon. For those of you who are on Spotify or iTunes listening to this or some other media service, you can also see this on YouTube, Travis Tidwell Podcast. We're videotaping it right now live as we're here. The Sacred Dragon Temple. I want to congratulate everybody who got their level 1 and 2 from episode 15. I only talked to one person who didn't get it. And I felt bad, but maybe they'll go back and try to do it again. It was only 25 minutes. I mean, we did spend time on orientation on episode 14 for the Reiki, but it was like McDonald's drive-through, boom, boom, and all of a sudden I got level 1 and 2 Reiki. And then on, episode 16, I gave you the two symbols to work with, diagrams so that you can meditate on them and have that 1 and 2 level information for yourself. I told you can contact me at Travis Tidwell Podcast at gmail.com and tell me that you got your level 1 and 2, and I'll get you a certificate. I already have names. I'm trying to collect a pile before I actually start sending them out. And for those of you who know me, then you can call me on my number, 619-581-9692. Now, going back to our last Reiki episodes, you got your 1 and 2. There are hand positions for Reiki. The first thing you always do is rub your hands together to activate your palms. Once you do that, it's all about visualizing that white flame above your head, connecting to your crown chakra, activating your higher self, your holy guardian angel, and the divine mind within you. Then you might want to put yourself in a pyramid of light. But then at that point, you would call your Reiki Level 1 and 2 healer master teachers to be with you. And at that point, you would, visualize yourself doing long-distance healing on somebody. And you can use the seals, or you don't have to use the seals. You can just visualize your 1 and 2 level master healers going to this person, healing them, and just visualizing and setting them there, and they're good to go. Most of the hand positions, once you do activate your palm chakras, are usually eyes, top of the crown, side of the head, third eye, throat, heart. There's many different, again, hand positions. When I do chair Reiki, I put my hands on the back of the person's shoulders and I ground myself with them first, and then go through the colors of my chakras and the white light, the pyramid. You're always in the pyramid light no matter what you're doing, so you should always have that in your vibration. But going back to the Reiki, yeah, and I just intuitively, you want to intuitively put your hands wherever you feel you need to on the person, or even on yourself. Remember, you can't do anything wrong with Reiki. This is universal Reiki. This is divine light energy, universal life energy, force coming through your crown chakra out to your hands. You're just a conductor. The more Reiki you do, the better it is. And Reiki is always working on you as a practitioner to your RNA DNA. Always. Make sure at some point that you listen to your higher self, because it's just like I was talking about Bruce Lee earlier, because even though he studied Wing Chun and different, Kung Fu and different, martial art techniques, he developed his own technique. And, at some point, it's all about being like water. He didn't believe in traditional form. So we could become very intellectual about Reiki and try to work with more seals and diagrams rather than the act of healing itself and the visualization, and you'll lose your power. Remember not to get caught up in too much, labyrinths of knowledge, because you could get stuck. Reiki's easy. It's not rocket science. You rub your hands together. You put them on somebody's body, their crown chakra, their shoulders, wherever the pain is. If they got a pain in their arm, you put your hands on the arm. If you don't have a massage table, lay them down, just put them in a chair. That's what I do. We do chair Reiki. I do have a table. And until the coronavirus, I was able to bring people to my house and, lay them down and put stones on their chakras and balance them and do Reiki and bring in some crystal singing bowls and, do the whole 9 yards, which I love doing for people. But that's just not available right now. And so getting used to the new norm, maybe we'll be doing, I know I'm not the only person attuning people on the internet, but my attunements do work. I've made a lot of Reiki Masters in this life, and I will continue to make masters, not only through Reiki, but through Sacred Dragon and the philosophy and the magic that I teach and share, as well as the oracle that I use. Remember, at some point, too, you can Reiki your food. You can Reiki your car. If you're having car problems, you can Reiki your house. You should Reiki your food for healing. Especially in today with this virus. And this is just probably the beginning of different disasters that we'll be hitting here in this life. So I would start preparing my spiritual body, which is going to continue to go once my physical body leaves. And that's what Reiki is also, doing. It's being a healer right here in this dimension. You'll be a healer in the next dimension. So if you have a dog or a cat, practice on them. Do not be afraid to practice, but practice, 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 practice. And because it's not that you're going to get any better at it, because it's not you. It's a divine light source coming through your body. You have no control. And Reiki goes wherever it wants to go. That's why even if you were to put somebody down in the chair, you get behind them, rub your hands, put your hands on their shoulders, call your guide, your healer guides to be present, visualize them working on your client also, or right now absentee healing. But that's how you would start that. You'd put your hands on their crown chakras, and you'd visualize the healing, miracle healing energy, whatever healing you're trying to create, as you project that white light energy into their body. But Reiki will go wherever it needs. So you can't do anything wrong with Reiki. It's a universal life force that anybody can tap into once you've received the symbols attuned into your chakras. We all have it. It's just a matter of, attuning ourselves to receive and activate it is the word. Reiki activates. I was doing healings before Reiki, don't get me wrong, and there's different systems of healing out there besides Reiki. Qigong, there's touch, there's a touch healing. There's just many different systems out there, many different levels. But, so you pick one for you. But Reiki is universal. It's respected by everybody. It's respected by the medical society. So I'm hoping that you're watching this episode now, and you got your level 1 and 2. If you're watching this episode now, and you didn't get your 1 and 2, let's figure out why. Now, maybe your palm chakras were not activated. Maybe you need to meditate for 10 minutes before you actually do that exercise to be open and ready. It's not rocket science. Maybe the energy in the house wasn't calm for you. Maybe you have a higher expectation of receiving. But trust me, people right now got this level 1 and 2 for me from the podcast. They're active. They got their warm palms. I talked to a few on the phone. I got a couple texts. And so I'm happy that this is working. So please tell your friends about this. If you didn't get it and you're listening to this, go back to the orientation video, which is number 14, episode, and start from there. Make sure that you've visualized your chakras being balanced. And this is how easy that is. You just close your eyes and visualize the colors of the rainbow flowing through your chakra centers, and your chakras are balanced. It's that easy. In the spiritual life, I'm trying to give you these different techniques and exercises to incorporate into your daily life so that you can become more spiritual. When you're spiritual, you're unlimited. When you're committed, devoted to a Christian or other type of religious organization, you're limited. Now, I'm not a Christian, but I'm Christ-like. I'm a spiritual master teacher. I'll make you a spiritual master teacher if you're interested in that type of information. And you love dragons. My organization is One Sacred Dragon. I'm also using this podcast as a platform to share Sacred Dragon with my philosophy, which is my religion. And I'm hoping that everybody who tuned into this episode tonight on my podcast received some positive information. I hope that the follow-up I gave you was clear. Also, too, we'll talk in episodes coming up here on how to check the chakras so that you can use Reiki to balance them. It's really important that you have a good God connection. It's important that you're praying every day to move the energy and meditating to move the energy. At some point you can also get on the internet, YouTube, Stephen Halpern, great healing music. He has some meditation music out there, as well as prosperity music that will align your chakras to receive prosperity. Even though we're in a pandemic, and I think it's day 364, I'm not sure. But back to reality here. I'm not sure what day it is. But we're doing the podcast. It's live here in beautiful Oside, California. We have the beach right over here, right next to us here. It's beautiful. We've been blessed by Yahweh himself. I'm hoping that all of you, again, who've tuned in would receive this information I've shared with you in divine love, divine light, and divine trust. I thank my Father Yahweh, all my angels and guides, my executive producer, Sacred Dragon, and all those who help support me in life, clients, students, friends, disciples, and wish everybody many blessings. So be it.
Time has come to rearrange. Time has come for a change.